everyone, and welcome to another episode of Crafty Beer Reviews. Today I will be reviewing the latest in the Dogfish Head musical release series. This right here is American Beauty. Now, if you couldn't tell from the name and this pretty cool artwork, this is a collaboration that Dogfish Head did with the Grateful Dead. And if you guys didn't know from my musical taste, I really love the Grateful Dead. They're up there with Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, Moody Blues, etc., etc. So I've been really looking forward to trying this one. And the cool thing is that Dogfish Head and the Grateful Dead decided that they wanted to reach out to their fans for the final ingredient in this beer. And after thousands of submissions, one person suggested granola. And it was actually a pretty cool story, so I would suggest you guys go check it out on Dogfish Head's website. Really cool stuff. Of course, there were a few other illegal ingredients, unfortunately. But yeah, you know what? Magic mushrooms can't make it into beer yet. Maybe one day, but yeah. Enough talking, let's go ahead and check out this beer. Okay, so the first thing I'm getting is some tangerine, a little bit of orange peel, some kind of grassy hop notes, definite caramel sweetness, some bready notes. I'm getting a little bit of a nuttiness, which I'm assuming is coming from the granola. But yeah, it's a little subtle. I'm definitely not getting a whole lot of granola at this point, but let's go ahead and take our first sip. Oh, there we go. So, the first thing I get is some tangerine. I get the orange peel, the kind of grassy hop notes as well. Definitely some caramel sweetness as well. Kind of helps to balance out the bitterness that's in the back end from those hops. Definitely get the breadiness. There's a big amount of nuttiness in here, which I'm really pleased with. I wasn't sure how much granola was really going to play into this, but there's definitely some nuttiness. There's almost a little bit of like a hint of vanilla in there as well. Kind of a generic berry fruitiness. Nothing I can really point out and say, oh, it's this particular fruit, but it's definitely got that berry fruitiness in there as well, which I'm assuming is coming from that granola. And what I really like is that it's a very balanced beer. You have these sweeter notes, like the hint of vanilla, a little bit of a honey sweetness in there as well as it sits on my palate, some caramel sweetness, but then you have like the tangerine, the orange peel, and the grassy hop notes that provide that kind of bitter bite on the back end, which is really nice. It's got a medium body. It actually has a rather creamy, smooth mouthfeel, and I'm not sure if the granola would have anything to do with the mouthfeel. It very well might, which I'm attributing it to, because it really is just very creamy. It coats the palate really nice. For 9%, it's decently well hidden. You don't really taste it, you don't really smell the alcohol. You do get a little bit of burn as it goes down, but for 9%, and this being a super fresh beer, not bad at all, so that's really nice. Yeah, as far as rating goes, guys, I'm going with an 8.6 out of 10 for this one. I think it's a really nice beer. However, I think it could be a little bit better. I wish there was a little bit more hop complexity in there. Despite there being a decent bitterness, the actual hop taste aren't as big as the malt base for this one. However, that being said, I do like the way that it's balanced between the bitterness and the sweetness. That's really nice. And I'm also really pleased that you kind of have this vanilla honey sweetness coming from the granola. You get a little bit of nuttiness and some berry notes as well, which makes this a unique beer. It's not as good as I think it could have been. It's not as boundary pushing as Dogfish Head can be at times. But you know what? At the same time, Grateful Dead is a huge band, and they may not have wanted to turn off too many people with this beer. So, really nice stuff. I think it's worth checking out, especially if you're a Grateful Dead fan. As far as my musical recommendation, yeah, in fact, Dogfish Head did go ahead and pick out the music for me. So I want you guys to check out the Grateful Dead and their 1978 record, Shakedown Street. Grateful Dead are one of my favorite groups. You know, they have a really good knack for incorporating classic rock, jam, blues, folk, all of these different elements, and they incorporate into their music so well. I really love them. I think that if you guys are already not Deadheads, probably too late for it at this point, but they're a really, really fun band, and I think you'll enjoy it, especially sipping on a beer like this. Alright guys, that does it for this beer review, and remember, I hope whatever you're doing involves good craft beer. See ya.